Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Thursday morning gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. My name is Tara Healey, and I'm the founder and director of Mind the Moment, the mindfulness program of Point 32 Health, which is the parent company of Harvard Pilgrim and Tufts. These practices are fully guided, so anybody that is joining for the first time, just a warm welcome to you. The practices run 12 to 14 minutes or so in length, and then we save time at the end for Q&A or an opportunity to share resources. So if you've come across a book or an app or a link or podcast, anything that related to practice and well-being, there's an opportunity to share that using the chat at the end. And of course, for anybody that needs to hop off, that's fine too. And so let's go ahead and get started into our practice. So you want to just assume a posture that feels comfortable and easeful, yet also engaged. So you could do this seated, you can do this standing, you can also do it lying down, but that's suggestive of sleep. So if you're tired, I would say either do the standing practice or seated. And instead of leaning back on a chair, you want to sit upright. And you're holding yourself in a way that is not too tight and not too loose. And so go ahead and take a minute to settle in. And your eyes can be open or closed. So if you choose to have your eyes open, it's helpful to gaze downward just a little bit to help remove any peripheral distraction. And take a moment to just really allow yourself to arrive from whatever activity you've had so far this morning. So checking in with the body, noticing the points of contact with the back of the body and the surface that you're on. Those subtle points of connection, actually feeling into the subtle points of connection. And noticing pulsing, vibration, temperature, as if you're a scientist and the subject. So bringing a kind of awareness to the body that's receptive, that's curious, that's open. And the various sensations can feel some degree of pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. And they're all allowed. So what's important in this practice is, we're not trying to make something special happen. Common misconception in mindfulness meditation is that we're supposed to create a sense of ease in the body. That's ultimately a byproduct, but the idea is that we are learning to gain some facility and familiarity with whatever is happening. So when things feel unpleasant in the body, the idea in this practice is that we're actually learning to have some equanimity or balance ultimately within the unpleasantness. Not initially. It's it's kind of like you're putting your toe in the water and noticing and then easing up, especially if something is difficult. And also noticing that when things are pleasurable, you're feeling well in the body, that's just what's happening too. And that, our bodies, our minds, so emotions, thoughts, feelings are always in a state of flux. And so just checking in. So what's going on in the body right now? What are the physical sensations that you're aware of? What are the kinds of thoughts you've had or are having in this moment? Nothing to resist or push away. It's all, if it's arrived, it's included in bringing a receptive, curious attitude. And so you're just receiving the body and mind as it is in this moment. And let's expand awareness to include sound that might be in the room or even outside of the room. And as we're beginning our practice, it's also helpful to take a moment to just take 2 deep breaths, or even one, and in through the nose, out through the mouth, making the exhalation longer than the inhalation, just as a way to continue the settling. So receiving sound in the room or outside of the room. And allowing the sound to come and go as they will. Let's begin to bring awareness back into a slightly more narrow focus. And I'm going to take us through a scan of the body. And so let's go ahead and start with the feet. So the soles of the feet, the top of the feet, the toes. And as we move through the body, just simply noticing what's there, lack of sensation or sensation. And scanning up to the lower legs, and both the left and the right together. So the calves and the shins. Up to the knees, including the thighs and the hips. And perhaps you're aware of a point of contact here. It could be the legs against the surface. And all the while surrendering your weight into the support of the ground below. And moving up to the torso. And the shoulders. And down the arms, so upper arms, forearms, and hands. And releasing that, coming up around the neck, up over the back of the head and the sides of the head, the top of the head. Moving awareness down over the face, the eyes, the nose, the jaw, the cheeks, the mouth, the tongue. Seeing if you can soften just to the degree that you are able. And finally, let's land awareness on a stabilizer, an anchor, something that we can return the wandering mind to over and over again. That's somewhat easy for us to track. So that could be breath sensation anywhere in the body. You notice the breath most prominently. So as you inhale and exhale, could be the feeling of the rise and fall of the belly or the abdomen. Could be the feeling of the air entering or leaving the nose. It's also possible that you're feeling the movement of the carriage of the body. So as you inhale and exhale. And so the idea is that we're letting our awareness track the sensations we feel when we breathe. And finally, I want to say there are more objects to use as anchors than just the breath. And the breath can be challenging at times. And so other objects for the mind to pay attention to would be sound. So if there is a consistent or somewhat consistent sound in your background, you can just simply open to receiving the sounds. So instead of a narrow focus, you've just got a wider angle lens of awareness, receiving sounds and not even naming or labeling what's making the sound, just hearing. We're tapping into that sense. And alternatively, you could also just simply take the palms of your hands and rest them together or rest them on the very top of your thighs or someplace that's comfortable where there's perhaps a point of contact. And the feeling of that point of contact would be your anchor. Could be, if you're seated or standing, a particular point of contact. So go ahead and see what might work for you this morning. It can vary from day to day. So the idea is just finding an anchor and tracking the sensations or the sounds. And as soon as you notice that a thought has slipped in, just you can even label it thinking, just to make it easy. You could be more specific to like planning or worry, but it helps relieve the mind in a way so you could just label thinking or planning. Let your body soften. There's almost always a subtle contraction when a thought slips in, and usually it's unnoticed. So, thinking, soften, return. I'm going to be silent for the next few minutes. And noticing where your mind is. And not a problem if you're thinking. That's just what happens. This is not about stopping thought. We're just not going to continue with the narrative when you're formally practicing. So just release, soften, and return to whatever object you're using. And as we bring this meditation to a close, may we be peaceful and at ease. May our heart be soft and open. May we be safe and protected, and our bodies healthy and strong. And may whatever good comes of our practice be of benefit to all beings. I also wanted to close by reading a poem by Dana Falls. And you can take your attention and just see if you can track the words and follow the words. It's a short poem. It's called Still Life with Fruit. Life will not be neatly wrapped and tied, boxed, or pigeonholed. Just when we think all the fruit is in the bowl and we can name it piece by piece, the still life is upended. Plums and peaches roll to the far corners of the room. Now it's the empty bowl that beckons. Can we have faith and wait? Can we allow the mystery of choice or chance or circumstance to give birth to fullness once again? Can we trust the fruit will be ripe for picking when it's time to break the fast? So taking a moment, if your eyes were closed, to open the eyes. And if you haven't already, go ahead and open up the chat and go to the drop-down menu and make sure that you select everyone. So there's an opportunity to ask a question or share a resource. But I also wanted to just put a plug-in reminder that on Tuesday next week, that'll be the last session with Colleen Kamenish, whose theme on Tuesdays with John Roberts has been mindfulness and nature, and comparing our nature to the nature that is all around us. And she's a really deep practitioner, longtime meditator, and she is a wonderful teacher. And I've been sitting in on those sessions and really loving them. So that's the first 3 Tuesdays of the month, we have a guest teacher. It's been Colleen. Next Tuesday, I will actually be hosting that. John is on vacation. But I've put the link right in the chat so that you can use that link to find the session and to register for it. And of course, these are open and available to anybody. So we ask that folks share with anyone you think might be interested, friends, family, acquaintances. And then the last Tuesday of the month, so every Tuesday within our mindfulness program, at least through June, we have special guests. And the last Tuesday of the month, I will be interviewing Dr. Judson Brewer. So Judd is an MD, PhD, who heads up the Brown University's mindfulness research arm. And he's really wonderful. Judd and I have talked together. He has been a friend of our program for a long time. And I'm really excited to see what new ventures he is going in. He's an addiction psychiatrist. And I cannot say enough about him. Oh, yes, the poem. And also, if anybody has attended any of the sessions that Colleen has done, and you want to just put a little note in the chat, that would be great. So the poet is Dana Falls. Still Life with Fruit is the name. And it's from a book called Go In and In. Oh, Heather, that's good. Thank you. I've really enjoyed the sessions with Colleen as well. The meditation practices that she leads are wonderful, and just also how much we are like nature, that everything in nature has a birth and a rising. It has a life, it moves, it's subject to the same things that we're subject to, and we see it all the time. So aging. And I have some beautiful irises in my yard, and they're swamp irises, and they come up every late spring, early summer. And some of you may have them as well. So I get really excited when I see the shoots start to come up. And then when I see the flower, and then they're soon going to bud. So they're going to do their thing, and they're going to hang out for a little bit. And now they're all gone. Except this morning I saw one. There's one. But this is our nature as well. Really, Jamie says, I really like Colleen, her perspectives on nature were really thought provoking. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that we are, and I think her messaging is that we are not so different from nature. And somewhere along the line, some of us have disconnected just because of the circumstances of our lives. But I'm really looking forward to talking with her on Tuesday as a final session with her, just to kind of rehash the first. So and also just you don't have to have attended any of the other ones in order to participate. They flow in a nice sequence all alone. But if you've been following them, that's great. And you can also see them on our YouTube page. So you could go back to the beginning if you wanted. Since I've done my plug for Colleen and also Judd, is there anything else that anybody would like to offer? So any books or apps, or even just a question about practice or how the practice felt for you this morning, anything at all is fine. So we still have a couple minutes. Yeah, you are welcome. It's really my pleasure to be with everybody on this Thursday morning that has been so consistent. Our Wednesday and Thursday mornings, so very consistent for, I think, 5 years, maybe. Well, if there's nothing else, I think we can go ahead and just call it. So I wish everybody a wonderful day. It's pretty hot here, so stay cool. And hopefully I will see everybody next Tuesday at noon with Colleen. Again, the link is right at the top of the chat. And yeah, take care, everybody. Okay.